You may be right, I may be crazy, but it just might be a lunatic you're looking for. Yeah, it's about 10 degrees, there's snow on the ground, and I only know 2 people crazy enough to go shed hunting with me on a day like this. My sister Denise, my sister-in-law Carrie. We're gonna go hit it. They're creeping along behind me about 4 miles an hour, but we're gonna get out someplace and see how good our eyes are at picking out white antlers in white snow. Nothing like making it a challenge, right? Here we go. Good girl, go find it. Go get it. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. I think I just put my finger on it. Now, what'd you do with it? Oh, finally got a little 4. Good girl. Go find another one. Go find another one. These are pretty much ideal conditions because, you know, snow on the ground, you don't have to waste time picking up all the little ones buried in the snow. Only ones you can see are the ones that are big enough to stick up out of the snow, so that makes it better, right? All right. Well, I wanted to do something here. So this is that big single that I found the other day. I'm in the process of restoring it. You'll notice that this tine right here that was broken off, just broke off right there. It's been repaired, replaced. And then I fixed the chalkiness on it. I haven't done anything else with it, but anyway, I wanted to score it just in case there might be a few of you that don't know how to score your antlers. Most of you are going to know how to, but I also wanted to go ahead and score it on the camera on video so that you could see that where I was getting the score that I said it was. And I had something I wanted to ask you about. Wanted your input on something for my channel. So I'm using this 1/8 inch calculator that's pretty handy. So let me start this. I use one of these most of the time just because it's handy and easy. I'm just trying to get a rough idea of what it is. It doesn't have to be exact. So the question I have is, I've thought about doing a name change for my channel. I think probably a lot of people have a hard time finding my channel because it's just under my name. The reason why it's under my name is I've always, ever since I first got on the internet, I've always used my name in everything. I've never had a pseudonym, or, you know, I felt like people that did that were probably usually hiding something. Made them feel like they could say whatever they wanted to because nobody knew who they were. I've never had anything to hide, so I've always just used my name. So that anything I say or do, everybody just knows it's me, and there's no reason to hide it. But anyway, I don't want to say specifically what I'm thinking about changing it to. I think I would leave the name in there just so people don't get completely confused, but then add something shed hunting related. I searched for the thing that I had in mind, which was a pretty common thing, and I figured it was actually the first thing I searched, and I figured somebody'd already have that, and I searched it 3 or 4 different ways, and as near as I can tell, nobody's using the words in that way as a YouTube channel. I don't want to steal somebody else's stuff. But anyway, I just want to know what you guys think about making a name change, if it would make it easier for people to find the channel. I would like to grow it, mainly to get, you know, to be able to share the things that I love to do with other people, and more people. There's other people doing really good stuff right now. If you like shed hunting videos and hunting videos, I think right now one of the very best channels out there is Mile High Pursuit. If you haven't, go check out his channel and subscribe. That thing needs to blow up. He's doing great videos right now. I just got to respect the guys that are out there doing it and working hard, but doing it in a way that it's entertaining for me as well. I kind of have a tough time with just the rash of people that are thinking that they can do a YouTube channel, quit their jobs, make a bunch of money, and basically the only way that can work is if you work and buy their stuff, and that's fine. You know, if you like their channel and want to support them, that stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. But you got to do it smart and do it right. If you're going to do something like that, you need to build up a base before you do that. I have no intentions of doing that. I don't intend on quitting my job and shed hunting or hunting full time. I wouldn't want to do that. I like to work, and I like to have that as my playtime. And my only purpose in growing the channel is just to get a bigger audience for the things I love to do. And I enjoy the interaction with you guys and the comments and all that stuff. That's my motivation. I don't have anything to sell. The few things that I take that back. I make and sell knives, but you'll notice I don't want to have to make 25, 30, 50 knives a year. I want to make 8, 10, maybe 12 knives a year. That way I enjoy it. I don't have any problem selling the knives I make, so I don't push them on my channel. Anyway, so I wanted to know what you guys thought about that. Does it bother you, the people that do that, you know, quit their job and they say, well, I want to play, I don't want to work, so you guys that are working buy my stuff so I don't have to work? Or do you guys not have any problem with that? It is kind of the new generation coming up, and it's more common, but I don't see any way possible that that there is to make a living, short of, you know, the guys that have, you got Hushin and some of those channels that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they obviously probably make a decent living doing it. Nothing wrong with that. They put out very good content and very entertaining content, and they actually have a brand that somebody would want to go, you know, wear their apparel and that stuff, because it means something. Anyway, I guess that's 2 questions. I guess tell me what you guys think about that. And mainly I want you to give me some feedback on whether you think leaving it just under my name, Ricky Arthur, or having it like Ricky Arthur Shed Hunting Adventures or something. That's not what it is, but you know, something along those lines. If you thought that would make it easier to get it out there where people can find it, and make it more accessible to people. While you're thinking about that, while you're typing and commenting, I want to score this antler. I believe this is probably the biggest single I've ever picked up. So we're going to put tape to it and verify. This tine that I replaced is the only part. Everything else is whole on this antler, other than it was very chalky. But this, I took a tine off of another antler that I'd found in the same area, and I cut it off so that the diameter of it matched the diameter of the one that was broken off, so that I wouldn't be, you know, putting something that was bigger than what was on there. I think that's probably pretty reasonable, because it just the diameter of the point that I replaced is the same as the one that I put on there. They just blended very nicely. I just simply drilled both sides, put a pin, use a little bit of epoxy sculpt. There's a little bit of epoxy sculpt from about here to here, and then I blended it, and you really can't tell now that it was ever broken. And I think that that's probably fairly as close as I could get to guesstimating what that tine. It may have hooked up more or something like that. I don't know, but it was, I mean, it was coming straight out, so I suspect that it was sort of probably just did something like that straight out. Anyway, I always start when I'm measuring antlers with the main beam. I don't think that the order you do them is really all that important, as long as you get all the measurements in and don't duplicate any of them. But I just go out here on the outside of the beam, and if you have a proper tape, it's a little bit easier to do this, but you can get by with this. So we're just going to come out here to the end of this, and the end of it is at 23 6/8. That iPad closed. 23 6/8 plus the next point would be the G1, and I'm gonna come and figure where, if it wasn't where it leaves the beam at, so it's gonna be something about right there. And that one right there is 4 inches on the dot. You could probably measure that a couple different ways, maybe get a little bit more. Since this one has this hump, it would actually be probably longer. If you did it from that side, yeah, it's actually, from that side, it's actually closer to 5 inches. It's almost 4 3/4 from that side up. But we'll just do that. You could even do something like that. And 4 on the dot, I think, is a fair. Second measurement would be the G2. Right here where it leaves the beam. Get an idea of where it left the beam at. Measure up the back side. (10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 and 6. 6/8. G3. Now this becomes a little bit more difficult here. Which one's the G3? We're going to call this right here, we're going to call this one right here the G3. And where it leaves the beam is also can be kind of tricky, because it, you know, it could, I don't know. Some of you may be able to give me, some of these non-typicals are a little bit tricky to score. That is 11 3/8. Then we'll go ahead and do these two extras here, since we're just doing a gross score. It doesn't really matter what order we do them in. This comes off of the G3 right there. And that is 7 6/8. This one right here, we're going to get 3 7/8. And then we'll go over here to the G4, and that is a pretty good G4 right there. (13 1/8). Okay. Now we've got all the points measured. Got one right there that's not quite long enough to score. If it was 1 inch long, we could score it. Just a cool little dude there. Now we're going to do the 4 mass measurements. First one is at the narrowest point between base and G1, and that is 4 6/8. In between some people like to burn 1 inch when they do this. I don't like to do that. That's 4 5/8. This one's going to be good. That is 5 5/8. And the last one, 4 2/8. So 4 2/8. I think that's everything. 97 7/8. So just right at just under 98 inches. You can see that buck would have had a big, you know, he would have probably been at least 23, 24 inches on the inside. So if you figure that, say he was 24 inches on the inside, 97, so we'll go, just say the other side matches, just, that's always fun. And we'll give 23 inches to the inside. Oops. That's a 219, 220 buck. Right there, I think about 220. And getting there primarily on just a big frame. I mean, he does pick up some nice inches on these two extras here, but that is just a big, old, cool buck. So I'll include, I have a couple other antlers that I scored here that are some of my big ones that I found over the years that I hadn't ever put tape to that I could remember. It's kind of cool. I mean, this is why you walk all the miles and miles and miles and miles and miles, is looking for something like that. And it's cool to have a couple of those and be able to walk up on a couple of those right at the end of the year. Let me know what you think about modifying the name of my channel. I appreciate all your comments. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and hoping to get you a bunch more shed hunting videos. Like I said, check out Mile High Pursuit, great channel. Not a lot of garbage on there, just great shed hunts, and he just had a cool one on the sawtooth bull that he had some history off of. I love finding sheds off animals that I got some history with. So I really like that one. Anyway, thanks, and Happy New Year to all of you. Alright, I wanted to do a short video about this buck right here. Two of my favorite sheds I've ever found. I've actually never scored them as far as I know, so I'm going to score them now, just out of curiosity. But I found this one. I've put some color on. This is one of the first antlers I tried to color, and I wish I hadn't because I don't like the way it looks. I didn't fix the cracks, but anyway, ignore that. But this is the first one I found. Just a crazy non-typical buck with everything just coming off everywhere. And I have hiked hundreds of miles looking for the other side of that buck. Have not been able to turn him up. And about 2 years after I found that one, either 2 or 3 years after I found that one, I was out there again looking for the other side of this buck, and I look up and I see this antler, and I was like, there's the other side, that's got to be the other side. And I was so excited I ran up there. And it was the same buck, same side, different years. But, I mean, it's obviously the same buck. Obvious, you can't hardly miss him. But what's interesting about him is, although he has the same general shape, you know, these 2 points right here are identical. Here, they're identical here. This little crabby here is identical here. But everything else on him is different. All of his non-typical stuff is different. So you've, for instance, on this one, you've got this one coming out of here. And here you have a smaller one out here on the back, but this one comes off the front. This one has a giant that's broken off here. That would have been, as big as that is, that would have been at least a 6-7 inch point coming off there. Probably something like that he broke off. That's not on this year right here. This one has a big hook cheater on the back. He doesn't have it this year. This is just a buck that has some crazy genetics. You know, split eye guard this year, not this year. Just goes to show that you can have a buck that, I mean, there's enough there to know for certain that that is the same buck, but he's also different every year. There's a little bit of change. I'd still love to match either one of those sets up, and I hope someday I will, but I don't know. Like I said, I've hiked hundreds and hundreds of miles. Let me go ahead and throw some tape on them. You guys log your guesses. How big are those singles? How big would that buck be if his sides matched. And I'll throw some tape on him. We'll figure it out. All right. First antler there. That one right there. We're going to have to just not count that big one that it's missing right there on that one. But the first one right there. Rough tapes, a gross 84 1/2 inches. 84 1/2. There's the first one. Alright, like I said, so we ignore this one right here that's busted off, even though it would have been easily a 5-6 inch antler, or tine, maybe even more than that. So that one was 84 4/8, and this one right here is 84 6/8. Considering that he's broken, they're within a 1/4 inch. So this would have been the bigger year, unbroken, because he's pretty much all intact here except for a little bit off of that brow tine. But if that one's in place, that's a 90 inch antler. So unbroken, 180 and a 20 something inch. Yeah, that's, you know, just over 200 inches. This year right here, he's probably in the high 190s. He's a cool buck though. Like I said, I hope to find him someday. Match those up. Let's go find some antlers. Find them up. Go find them up. Find a bone. Good girl, go find it. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Here's a treat. Here's a treat. Here's a treat. Good girl. Good girl. Go find another one. Find another one. Go find him. Find him. Go find him. Go find him. Let's see. I think there's... Good girl. Bring it here. Good dog. Good dog. There's a treat. There's a treat. There's a treat. There's a good girl. There's a good girl. Good girl. Good girl. That's a good one, huh? It's a good bone. Good bone. Good girl. Okay, go get another one. Go get another one. Go find him. Go find him. Go find him. Find him up. Find him up. Oh, good girl. That doesn't count, though. That doesn't count. Good pup. Good pup. If I set him down, she's going to know she can cheat. All right, go find another one. Go find him up. Find him up. Oh, her nose up. Yep. Her nose told her one was there. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. You want a treat? You want a treat? Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Good girl. Good girl. Honey, come back. Zoe, come on. Go find some antlers. Come on. Go find some antlers. Come on. Go find them. Go find them, honey. Go find them up. Go find them up. Find a bone, honey. Find a bone. Anyway, this is the first time using the wax antler scent, the new antler scent. She knows what she's doing. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Look at that one, huh? Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Go find another one. Go get another one. Go find it. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Those ones don't count. Once you find them, they don't count. Good girl. Okay, go get another one. Go get another one. Find another one. Find them up. Find them up. She's a good pup. Go find another one. Go find another one. Go get another one. At least she keeps going back for the biggest one. Huh? They don't count once I picked them up. All right, let me get them in my hands so you know that there's something else. Come on, go find another one. I think there's 2 more. I can see one. Go get it. Find them up, find them up, find them up. I can tell that that scent is so strong that it's leaving residual scent on the ground. And so she keeps smelling them. I just sort of introducing her to her, so I put more on there than I normally would, but I don't know if this stuff smells like new antlers or not. You know, trying to get her tuned up for browns. Go find it, honey. Go find them up. Find them up. She definitely knows how to use her nose. Good girl. Find them up. Find them up. Oh, hit the brakes. Hit the brakes. Her nose told her it was there. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, that's the good pup. That's the good pup. She knows the drill. She knows them antlers. She knows what they are, huh? Huh? There we go. Good girl. She's a good dog. She's a good doggy. She's a good doggy dog. Want one more treat? Good girl. For finding them all, you can have that. There you go. Good dog. Good dog. It's good to find the antlers. Good girl.